everyone, I'm Evie, and in today's vlog I'm going to be showing you my riding journey and how I got to where I am today. So I started my riding journey in a riding school when I was 8 years old. Even though I only started lessons when I was 8, I've always liked horses and I've always had an interest in them, like you can see in these pictures here. I was only like 0 in a few of them. I was only doing 1 lesson per week, but after 2 years I went to view my very first pony, Poppy. So as you can see in these clips here, I still wasn't a great rider, but I had definitely improved since 2 years ago. I struggled with my canter a lot at this time, but I had my trot and it was pretty good, and my jumping had come on a bit since 2 years ago as well. So the viewing went really well and we ended up bringing Poppy home, but I had no idea that she was only 3 years old when we went to view her, and I thought she was 8 years old. So we brought her home not knowing that at all, and we just rode her away, and I had lessons most days of the week. So at first we did bring her back to my house, but then we just brought her to the riding school that I used to go to for livery, because she just started biting me, and one time she bit me and I had to miss school because there was a huge purple bruise on my shoulder. Every single lesson I had, I would be falling off, and it would be every single day I would have been falling off. She would just be consistently bucking me off, and it was not normal. So by this time we knew she was 3 because someone told us, and one of the helpers asked if we wanted to move Poppy to her yard, and we went to see it and then we agreed and we brought her over. And Poppy was like a different horse, as you can see in these videos. We changed her saddle and the girl gave me lessons, and I still ride there and I keep Poppy there still. Not only did Poppy improve a lot, but my riding also came on so much, and I was able to like sit my canter and everything, and it was just so great. She was like a different pony and I was like a different rider, and eventually after a few more weeks of riding we went to our first show and it was chaotic. She bolted in the warm-up arena and I almost fell off, but in the show ring she just completely changed and she was like from bad girl to good girl. I don't know why she changed, it was probably all the other ponies in the warm-up arena that made her excited. But she was really good in the ring and she took some long ones into the jumps, which I loved. It was so much fun. Show jumping is really where my heart is, and I really want to compete professionally when I'm older. We had put a lot of work into Poppy before these shows, and we did a lot of hacking and arena work and lunging as well. That was really important. And then the second show we brought her to, she just kind of turned sour and she was refusing so much. You can see in this clip I almost fell off and she just kind of stepped over the jump. I managed to stay on, and then she refused the second jump in the combination. This was my fault because I didn't have enough leg on, and she refused this about twice I think, but it was all my fault. But I did get her over it eventually. This time my instructor kind of ran up along with me and she jumped it, and it was actually a really pretty jump I think. Here's it in slow motion, and I really need a photo of this on the wall. But after a while I started riding Huey, this grey pony, and we did buy him, and I was really progressing in my riding and I started jumping a lot more and I loved it. I just loved show jumping so much. My seat also got so much better because he was a spooky pony. He's a Connemara cross thoroughbred, and he was really spooky, and as you can see here, he was such a good boy for jumping though. I loved jumping on him so much. After a while we took him to a few local shows, and I'm sorry the videos are so shaky, but these shows were so much fun. I only competed him about 60 or 70 centimeters high in shows, but at home at the yard I was jumping him so much higher, and I even beat my jumping record by a lot. The jump I'm approaching now was probably about a metre 10, and I did beat my jumping record up to a metre 20 with him, but sadly we did have to sell him and he went to Sweden where he's competing now because he just got way too strong for me and he was just running out of arenas and just dragging me around basically. So I started riding Poppy again and she turned sour again. She just kind of goes through phases of being such a good pony and then she just goes sour. So that's just kind of how it is with small ponies, and you just kind of have to get used to it. But after a while I kind of lost my confidence, so I started riding in a riding school again. I still rode at at my friend's yard, and I still rode Poppy all the time. But I also had a lesson once a week at a riding school, and I met Rose, and she turned out to be such a nice pony and such a good confidence giver. And as you can see, I improved again. I also gained a few bad habits. I started swinging my lower leg, and I was not happy about it. I just kind of got so upset because I thought like that would be the end. But no, I did fix it. I think the reason why I liked riding Rose so much is because she overjumped absolutely everything, and she loved show jumping. She loved it so much, and I love show jumping, so I think that's why we were such a good match. And then I started riding Ruby, this huge horse. I look tiny on her, and I'm actually quite tall. So I rode her, not a lot. I rode her in a few lessons, and she was such a confidence giver as well. She was really good to take long ones into the jumps. And then I started riding at another riding school that I went for one lesson, and this pony just kept refusing, but I didn't give up, and I kept riding him. And the instructor basically gave me a choice to just move on to the next jump or keep going, and I chose to keep going because I'm a really confident rider. Like, if the pony refuses and they're just being really stubborn, I will just keep going. And I did do a bit more jumping at the riding school I was going to for a while, and that was really fun. I found another pony that I really liked. Even though she was a bit lazy, I still loved her. And then Poppy came home for Christmas, and that was really chaotic. I fell off because she bucked me off in the garden and took off cantering. So everything was so chaotic, and in this clip here, I was a bit nervous for riding in the field because Poppy is just known for being unpredictable, but I actually did learn a lot from having her at home and doing her myself, because I've always had my friend's mom to help me out with the ponies, and she's the girl that decided to ask us to bring Poppy to her yard when we were really struggling with her at the riding school. So I'm so grateful that she asked if we wanted to move Poppy there. Reality started to hit, and I realised I wasn't learning anything and I wasn't improving with my riding anymore, so I decided to quit the riding school, and I just kind of kept tipping away with Poppy at home. And I think I did improve a bit, just kind of doing everything myself and kind of just going out bareback, just trotting up and down the lane. I think that helped a lot. But now we're coming into more of my recent riding, and this is Tiny Tim. He is just such a cracking pony, and he's only 4 as well, so he's only been ridden for a couple of months. This was my first time riding him, and I just flipped off of him and I fell off. And then the second time I rode him, I went cross country, and he was on fire. I think I was riding an airplane. He was a bit bold here. He just kind of stopped, but I just kept riding him on, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't stop because he was so good towards the end. This was only my second time on him, and he was improving so much, and so was I. This was like the best ride of my life. He was so good, and I loved him so much. And then I rode my friend's pony, Squirt, and she is such a dream to ride. And she's also only 4, so she's just a baby. Here we had a bit of a wobble because she's not great at jumping straight fences, and my instructor had just put it up to a straight. I don't know how I stayed on, but I did. I don't know how. I was almost falling off, and Squirt was actually kind to me, because if she had done one of those big bucks that she always does, I would have literally flew right off of her. But I kept trotting her on because that's what my instructor told me to do, and I jumped the fence. And now this brings us to Jasper. This was us at the viewing, and then we brought him home, and he is such a legend. Here was my first fall on him. I was just trying to jump that small cross, and I just slipped. I was bareback, so that was my fault. And then here, these are just some of my fails. But he does nothing wrong, and I have so much fun with him, as you can see here. He is such a quiet pony, and he's literally everyone's dream. And recently I've been doing jumping with him, and I know it doesn't look pretty, but I'm getting him over the jumps, and that's what I'm mainly focusing on, because I just want to give myself confidence riding in a field, and I want to give him confidence as well. So yeah, and I've just kind of been tipping away with him at home, and I've been doing everything myself, and I used to have to ride him bareback, but now we have a saddle, and I've just been having so much fun, as you can see here. My future plans with Jasper is next season I want to get out to a few local shows when I get him fit again, and I want to do some like show jumping, like maybe just 50-60 centimeters, just something small to give me confidence and just have a bit of fun. So that is the end of my riding journey, and this video doesn't even, like, I can't even explain how hard it's been to get like Poppy going, and all the work that's been put into these ponies is insane, and there's so much going on like behind the scenes that I just can't explain. But I just wanted to say thank you to Annie, because she's the girl that helped me with Poppy, and she has helped me so much, and she helped me with all my ponies basically, and she's basically just taught me how to ride. So thank you so much. Owning horses really isn't easy, and you have to be very determined and very interested in them as well, because it's literally so hard. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and listening to my riding journey, and I'll see you next time. Bye!